Ta-da!
Hey, hey, hey!
Official, guys. It's official. Today, me and Ralph are actually full-time YouTuber. Before, Ralph was still working some crummy job. McDonald's, whatever.
It's true, man. It's the best I could get after my years in the workforce, man.
Yes.
You take what you can get at my age.
You know,
what I mean?
look, he tried MasterChef, didn't work. Oh, wait, I wonder if they have MasterChef in America.
Wow.
Is this another thing where I've said something like, of course we have, like nincompoop? Okay, do you guys have
It's like, I wonder if they have flags in America. do they have hot dogs in
There's
America?
a specific show called MasterChef
Hey, America,
in Australia.
Do you guys have the internet over there? Let
Of
me
course
know.
they have cooking
Let
shows.
me know in the comments below if you guys have internet in America.
You know what?
Okay?
We're going to talk about Kingdom Come, Deliverance, but this is just falling apart. Okay, everyone. Of course, the long-anticipated review of Kingdom Come.
Okay, you can't call it a review if you've only played the tutorial, Sam. Many websites have tried to do exactly that, by the way. Many websites have done this.
Let's make it clear what I want to do today, people. I want to express the opinion of many people out there that are going to play the tutorial, and they're going to find... They might be the casual gamer, they might be the hardcore gamer, but a lot of people, I think, are going to feel very similar to me. You jump into this world, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, you know, it definitely feels like I'm just playing Braveheart, if anyone's ever seen that movie.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that movie, of course.
The prisoner wishes to say a word.
Be connected!
And it is a bit overwhelming, to be honest, because there's a lot of things you've got to learn. There's a lot of, like, you know, yeah, it's very overwhelming. And by the time that you've kind of grasped one thing, another thing just gets thrown at you, and you're just
So it's like you grasp one thing and then you grasp another thing, Sam?
and then you just have to, like, play with it and figure out how to do it, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Usually, I'm talking about pairs of things. You're talking about singular thing. I think you're referring more to a cupping action.
Yes,
personally.
of course.
That's
Yes.
what
And
you're
I'm talking about
referring
Cuphead, but this is a video games channel. We're talking about Cuphead, of
right.
course. All right. I think a lot of people will find, if they're quite casual, if they don't know what they're getting into, that they might get a bit bored at the beginning. I certainly did. I was like, it felt very slow, you know. There was a huge emphasis on narrative. It was a huge emphasis on world building, story building, understanding the characters, understanding, you know, your place in that world. Like, when I stand back now after playing 4 or 5 hours of it, not a huge amount, I certainly appreciate what that start did. But at the beginning, I was like, fuck this game, I'm kind of a bit over it, to be honest. So anyone that's going to be sitting there wanting to play, be prepared for hours of just, like, understanding, like, just what this is, like, where it's slowly going, you know, like, what it's slowly trying to do, in my opinion, what it's slowly trying to do is just kind of gently put you into this world. I respected it more and more the more I played it, for sure. Ralph will I will allow him to say one thing, and then I will continue.
Oh, and this one time at band camp?
Do you think games have a responsibility to grab your attention quickly?
Shit, that took a turn. Alright, well, we're getting into the ethics of business.
Ethics are...
Look, I think to an extent, if they want to be successful, they have to understand that just like a movie, just like a piece of music, sometimes you need to capture someone at the beginning. You can't expect them to sit around waiting for you to, you know, at the very end, show them something special. There's a lot of games out there. There's a lot of pieces of artworks, a lot of movies, a lot of everything. So, you know, in this current time where games are coming out all the time, people don't have a lot of time sometimes to sit there and go, well, okay, I'll put 5 hours into a game before I start feeling like I get it. You know what I'm saying?
But you personally, do you feel like it should have grabbed your attention sooner than it did?
I think there's definitely techniques and for games to grab you at the beginning, and I don't think that they implemented them as much as they could have. That could have easily been because they are, you know, they're definitely doing the long game there, you know. So in some respects, yes, I think if you want to capture an audience, you have to respect their attention span. You have to respect their time, because a lot of people don't want to sit there for 5 hours to do a tutorial, which ultimately that first 4 hours is, you know. Then there's other things like the combat system. At the beginning, I really didn't like it. By the end of it, I was like, I actually quite like this combat system. There's a weight to it. there's a way of like changing changing, you know, of course to the vertical or to the horizontal way of your attacking. I like that. Why are you laughing?
I think you were like.
Why is he laughing?
Did you go vertical and then horizontal and then pointed the opposite directions?
Did I? Yes. Yes. You know what I mean, people. Everyone's like, well, you know what you mean, Sam.
yeah.
It's okay. We've
alright.
watched long enough now to know you're a little bit special.
You make me happy.
Another thing that certainly grows on you is the story at the beginning. It does feel a bit generic, some peasant boy or something. You're like, okay, cool. Then, no, there's a set, like, you know, I love the power struggles you see. I love the intimate, you know, relationships that you start slowly forming. I like the, you know, there's tension there's a bit of sexual tension already in a scene that I've seen. I felt a bit Mass Effect. I was like, where's this gone? I was waiting for the wow. I've been really trying. I was waiting for that.
Keep
I was
going,
like,
Sam.
I was like, zip. Oh, not yet. Zip. All right, fair enough. I guess that's later. So it's one of those games that, you know, it does build.
Have you ever played a game like this before?
Well, Overwatch isn't like this.
Let's say Overwatch is a little bit like this,
No,
right?
I mean,
Basically
look,
the same game, but no loot boxes.
I guess you can say to an extent that, like, maybe the Final Fantasies are drawn out, but there's a level of oomph at the
No, I
beginning.
mean, have you ever played a game that's structurally like this? I'm not talking about a slow burn.
Oh, a slow burn. I thought you meant slow burn. Okay.
Have you played Skyrim?
I have played Skyrim, but I didn't play a lot of it.
Have
to
you
be
played
honest.
Oblivion?
Yes, of course I played Oblivion, but I only played, like, look, it was so long ago, I probably played 5 or 10 hours of that game. I didn't play a huge amount of it.
Did you play any Morrowind?
No.
Okay. Have you
Elder
played
Scrolls.
Fallout?
No.
Okay, right. Okay.
Did you play any games?
Have you played
No.
any games ever before starting a YouTube channel? Overwatch. Does this feel fresh to you? Does this feel like a fresh experience?
In some respects, yes. In some respects, no. I don't feel like it's like... I don't think it's like revolutionizing the way that they want to tell a narrative in a story, or like, you know, the revolutionizing the slow burn in a game. Like I kind of feel like I've seen it in other games in terms of course, it slowly builds up to really telling you a story that's worth sitting around for, like Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VIII or whatever like that. You know? No, I don't think it's revolutionary. No, I don't. Why, you think so?
No. I asked because I think a lot of people out there are calling this like revolutionary, you know, groundbreaking, amazing, you know, whatever. And I feel like a lot of those people have either never played Morrowind before, or old school Bethesda, or they played it so much and they've missed it over the last few years because there really hasn't been a game like that since Morrowind. Because Oblivion was a little bit of a watered down Morrowind. Skyrim was watered down even further. And don't get me wrong, absolutely love Skyrim, but it didn't have anywhere near the same sense of tactile, analog, you know, like complexity, and everything that you did had some sort of consequence. The game systems were all very sophisticated under the hood, and at the surface it looked like it was all just working fine.
Yeah,
you know?
That's another thing about this game. You know, you do feel a sense of, you know, your decisions hugely influence how you even interact with other people, how you can potentially solve problems or solve arguments in the future. You know, there's always been a sense of like reputation in other games, like what Warcraft did, of course. Morrowind, like, you know, what's it called? The Elder Scrolls games, they've done it before for sure. So that, again, that's not groundbreaking, but I do like to see those things in these kinds of games. One thing that pissed me off is, God, this guy loves to eat. My God.
He's always hungry.
Every single 10 minutes. Getting a bit hungry. It's like, okay, fucking hell.
Could do with a bite to eat.
Yeah, always.
I can't stop eating.
He sounds like that peasant from, what is it? You know, Warcraft 3.
More work, righto.
So, like, I those parts to me personally just, it just feels annoying. Like, it doesn't add...
There's survival aspects to the
Yeah,
game.
like, it
Do
doesn't...
you feel that adds or subtracts from the experience?
Look, it doesn't add a huge amount. I get why they're trying to do it, to give you a level of realism and, like, a level of, like, you have to understand that, you know, you are managing, you know, a being, you know, and you have to make sure that they're nourished and whatever. Like, I get that. But time and time again, when I see those things, I always find them a bit more of a hindrance. Like, these types of games are very narrative-driven. Let me just go on the story, and, like, I don't feel like I really need to keep eating apples and shit. Like, it doesn't... for me, personally, it doesn't add a huge amount. personally. I felt the same with Breath of the Wild, like the amount of effort that you had to go find things and cook them, and then you'd be you'd be doing a boss, and one swipe would like take half your health away, and you have to eat like 10 things, and like you'd always have this sense of like, oh my god, I got to get more food all the time, and it's a subtraction for me for the narrative.
Is this the kind of game that you've played 4 or 5 hours now? Do you want to keep sticking with this game?
I will say this: at the beginning, I was like, this isn't the game for me. By the end of it, when I played about 5 hours of it, I was a lot more impressed than I was at the beginning, because it does have an effect on you after a while that you're like, okay, I see what you're doing here now. Cool. You're just trying to slowly build me into this world. And you want to, and I probably will play, I probably will play a bit more, actually, to be honest. Right. I think I will.
That's good.
Will I finish the whole thing? Probably not, people.
Hell no, I can tell you that, people. There's no way that's
happening. I need more
happening.
time for Overwatch. I don't have time for all this business. But look, I guess it's important that, like, Ralph's going to play a lot more of this game, but it's important for someone like me to play a little bit of it, and then give my opinion to people that are like, I don't know if I have 8-10 hours to really get to that point where I'm completely solidified into that world. Some people just don't want to do that. So it's important, before you buy this game, guys, you have to understand that you are walking into a world where they expect you to wait around for hours and hours before you are really hooked in my opinion.
No, that's a fact.
Because they want you to be like, they really want you to understand like heaps of things before it all comes together. And a lot of people are going to go, cool, I get it, don't have time for it, sorry.
It's take your time. It's that kind of game where it's not made for you if you have ADHD. It's made for people with longer attention spans. And I think it's a fascinating game personally, because for me it's really like whipped out the nostalgia goggles for a whole crowd, and they're like, hey, this is how games used to be. And then the other end of the spectrum is like, no, this is really boring now. We've moved past this. This is not exciting.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
I personally think that the game is pretty good. I'm going to do a full review of it later, but I'm not holding anything back now. I'm just like still playing through it all.
There's no point in watching it now. He just told you he thinks it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Save the 50 minutes, people.
Yeah, literally, save your 50 minutes. It's pretty good, but it's not groundbreaking. I tell you that much. Like, I'm 25 hours in now, and it is absolutely not a groundbreaking experience, because at its best, it is a recreation of the sensation that old school gamers would have felt playing Morrowind.
Yeah.
And on its best day, in its best moments, it's still not as good as Morrowind was. Like, it's just not. The game is so unbelievably bug-riddled at this point. And not in a shitty way, like, Mass Effect Andromeda with, like, dumb facial features, but more about, like, the actual quests don't work. Like, the game itself ceases to function at points, and it costs you hours of time because they have this really restrictive save system as well.
I don't understand that at all.
No, that's a really good decision.
I thought it was a shit decision.
You can't save scum. You have to you can only save at certain points or when you have a certain potion. It sounds really annoying. It's the best part of the game, to be honest with you.
Really?
Absolutely. It forces you to engage this world and consider your decisions. It forces you to think about, if I fuck this up, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back and replay the last 40 minutes? No, I'm going to go with it, man. We're going to fight this guy. We're going to kill him. Oh, shit. Now I'm in trouble with the local cops. Oh, well, I'll just hide out for a while. Versus before, you just fucking F9. You know what I mean?
That's okay. I get what you're saying. But to give you some consumable, like, it's just like... Maybe there was other ways to do that, I think. Maybe there's other ways to make sure that you're accountable for your decisions. That's all I'm saying.
I feel it's just a really good part of the game. But I also get why people don't like it. They're like, I want to be able to play this game on my terms. This is not that kind of game. It's not interested in your terms. This game exists on its own terms, People, anyway, that's it.
Tune in to this game if you want to be bored.
Boring.
No, joke. It was definitely ambitious. The more you play it, the more I think you'll like it. But yeah, I think a lot of people will turn this on, and 25 minutes into it, they'll be like, nah, I'm not into this. And they'll turn it off. I reckon that's going to happen. So
that's absolutely going to happen, and I think there's a lot of other people that will stick with it for 200 hours, and it will be their game of the year. So find out yourself if you're interested. Wait till it goes on sale is my recommendation, though, because it's not fully baked, and you should save a little bit of cash before that time.
Speaking of baked, would anyone like to see Ralph get stoned on the next episode? Please, we're gonna...
Everyone always thinks you're high on cocaine.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Everyone says, oh good, Sam's high on cocaine.
I make sure that I, wait until after.
That's right. Okay? Sam's like, why do I keep saying that, man?
Yeah, how do I make all these dank memes? Well, I use a special substance, okay?
Oh, and this one time at band camp,